Alright, I thought I'd get the final um, photos or video of the finished product, plus give you some final notes on some details regarding this. So it's all together. Everything went together real well, and I'm going to talk about the bottom part here first. Okay, this is where the let's just get there we go. This is where the shifting shaft and the shifting fork and all that was in here, and I want to talk about the safety wire. You're going to need 19 gauge safety wire to go ahead and make the loop in there and tighten and button it up and stuff. So you need 19 gauge, probably stainless steel would be good, safety wire. Then as far as the boots were concerned, on my previous video I was talking about the way that the end cap on the boot went in. It actually goes in the other way with the round side out, and that's what holds on the boot, keeps it from sliding off. So I had that backwards, so you could do it the other way. So just reverse what I told you in the previous video regarding that last clip there. And then the washers on these things are part of the retaining of this end of the boot. So on this side there's a washer and a bolt, and I didn't know what that was for because my boots were so shredded they were just little pieces of rubber hanging off. I didn't realize that the washer helps hold the end of the boot to the end of the shaft, so that when you slide it, let me see if I can do this. Hold on a sec. So when you slide it all the way over, that the boot doesn't pop off the shaft and just slide up and down the shaft. It should look like this on your truck. If it's not doing this, then it's not holding on to the groove that's actually at the end of the shaft, and that washer helps clamp that on the end of that. So that's the way your boot should look at full extension. It shouldn't be just riding up and down the shaft. It should be riding with the shaft back and forth. And if you put the end retainer clips in right, it'll hold the boot and keep the boot from sliding off this side. So you can see this side the full compression there of that. So that's a couple notes there. And then what else was there? Was one other thing I was going to talk about. So got that wrong in the last video, so reverse that round side out. The washers help hold that in place. Safety wire. Oh, the last thing I was going to talk about was the gaskets. So there's the gaskets that come with these are paper. They're pretty thin, and if you can tell as I bring this around, that the finish on the flange here is pretty rough. You can see that right there. A lot of just, I guess those are machine marks or something, but there's some pretty deep grooves in there. So when or when not to use gasket sealer or gasket maker, now's the time to do that, because I don't think that the paper gasket would actually seal all this. So I would go ahead and definitely use some gasket maker around the flange. I did on the other side, and do it on both sides. Do it on the metal, and then once the gasket's on top of the metal, do it on top of the gasket as well, so that you get the sealer on both sides. Because I imagine the transmission flange is probably not much better. I didn't look that close when I took it out, but I imagine it probably doesn't look much better. So you want that extra safety insurance of a non-leak by putting gasket maker. Now in this case I'm using Permatex gasket maker. It's kind of a mess, but anyway, so that's the brand I'm using. You can use whatever as long as it's the gasket type. I would stick away from silicone, RTV silicone. Use specific gasket maker compound, because it's made to do exactly what we're talking about, fill in these gaps, and it doesn't harden all the way, so that it stays flexible and actually fills in all these gaps and so that when it expands and contracts with heat, it doesn't lose its bond. It basically stays like almost in a semi-liquid form to help keep that sealed. So I would definitely stick with the idea of what the stuff was made for, in this case gasket maker. So, and other than that, that's pretty much it. It's all together. The drive went on really well for me. I cleaned it up and heated this up before I put it on, just like I did when I was popping seals. I spent a couple minutes with the flame torch, heated up the flange here, and also put some lubricant on it, any kind of oil, motor oil or whatever you had, just something to help it slide on. And with it heated up, and the keyway was cleaned, and the key was also cleaned as well and sanded, so that there would be no issues with it binding as the flange and everything slid over it. And with it heated up, it just went right on. It was surprisingly painless on that. Now on these side gaskets for this stuff, this was machined much better, so I didn't worry about putting gasket maker on this. I'm going to go ahead and let the paper gasket do its job here. Just didn't feel it was necessary there. That was for that one and this one as well. Both these were machined to a better tolerance, and so I thought that the gasket would work fine without it. If you feel like you want to go ahead and do that, there's nothing wrong with that. Extra insurance, but I just didn't think that it was necessary in this case, and I didn't want the gasket maker inside the housing because it doesn't harden all the way. I didn't want it flying around with the gears and stuff, so that's the only reason why I didn't do that. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me and then it leaks, but I don't think so. Like I said, it was machined well enough that I think that that'll work fine. And these gaskets were thicker than the ones that are going on this, and they seem to be of a different compound, so that it looked like it was made to do what it's supposed to do there. So, but that's it. So that's the finished product. It's still pretty dirty. What I'm going to do is, of course, is once everything's all back together and working properly, I'll probably just go ahead and pressure wash it all. I have a pressure washer, so I'll probably clean all up underneath where all this is, so that I'll be keeping an eye on it and making sure that there's no leaks coming from it after it's installed for the next 100 miles or so. And by pressure washing it, I'll know that everything's clean and that there's no issues there. But that's it. So there's the boot. So that's the way it should be looking. Mine definitely wasn't doing that. I said it was just little pieces of rubber hanging off of it. It was pathetic. Anyway, so that's going to go in, and then I've got a new master brake cylinder right there that I took out the old one, transferred all the parts over. I have a remote brake reservoir for this. It's a kit. It's like $25-30. I covered that on previous videos. That connects up here, and then this piece right here comes off your old master brake cylinder. The fitting here and the bolts to help bolt it in, and that's it. That's all you need from your old brake cylinder. So you're good to go there, and that's it. So like I said, that one goes first, this one goes in next, and then that's a huge 1, 2, 3 for me, because I've already had video of the complete replacement of my parking brake, cable, shoes, it's all the springs, everything. So mechanically, from the engine back, I've gotten almost all of what I want done completed. The one of the things that's on the list is a complete brake job for all 6 wheels, new brake shoes, any kind of new pistons that go to expand the brake shoes, springs, all that's going to be coming down the road, but not right now. But that's on my list, and U-joints, and then that will wrap up the whole back of the truck mechanically for me. There won't be anything else I have to do as far as the truck, as far as replacements of stuff. And then after this video, the next video I'll be shooting will be of putting the engine back together. Exhaust manifold, turbo, new J pipe, new flex pipe. That whole side of the engine is all going to come back to life. New cross connect hoses, silicone hoses for the turbo. I got a lot of stuff I got to do on that part of it, but at least mechanically from the engine back, minus the brakes, I'm hoping that this part of the project is done. Just to give you an idea how long I've been doing this, I started this back in September of 2020, and right now it's May of 2021. So I've been working on this truck for all the various different things I've been doing pretty much almost non-stop since then. So I've got a full minimum of 6 months of work so far into the truck that I have, and that's if I was getting up and going to work every day like it was a job. So that's 6 months of work to get to this point, and I still got another about 3 months left to do before I can probably say, okay, I'm done with the truck. So anyway, a lot of stuff, a lot of work. I think that's it. So I'll wrap up this part of the build in the video, and the next one you'll probably see will be me working on putting stuff back in the engine bay, which I have all the stuff I have now, minus my J pipe, which will be here a couple days from now, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Today's Saturday, and I'll be putting all that together and hopefully firing up by midweek next week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. And that'll be a big I don't know, a milestone for me, is to have all this mechanical stuff out of the way. Been wanting to do that since day one, and now that I'm in the middle of it, I can't wait to have it done. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.